What's up, everyone? It's your boy Norin Rad89 here. I hope you all had an awesome Halloween. It's officially Halloween Hangover. This time of year I definitely get a little bit sad because I'm like, dang, we gotta wait a whole another year till Halloween comes around. But like I said, I'm gonna be dropping some Halloween Hangover videos. And for one, this is our first one right now. We're gonna be ranking all the Halloween franchise films because I've seen them all. I have a playlist in the top corner with all the reviews, so you can get more in depth if you want to know my feelings on any particular movie more in depth. This is just going to be a run of the mill, like showing you where they rank, where they landed, in my opinion. And of course, like I said, this is just my opinion. I would love to hear from all of you because this isn't the right list. It's just my list. So let's get into this Halloween ranking. Roll it. So there's 12 Halloween franchise films now to talk about. Like, oh man, it's crazy. It just keeps growing and growing. So let's get into this. And of course, there has to be one at the bottom of the barrel. This is actually the only Halloween film on this list that I actually really dislike. Like, I hate this film. This is the only film that I wouldn't return to out of all the films on this list, and that's Halloween Resurrection. Man, this is just, it's a horrible story, horrible characters. I don't like the portrayal of Laurie Strode in this by Jamie Lee Curtis. I think she kind of phoned it in this movie. And as I said, the script, everything about this film is just B-level mediocre, and it's garbage, and the way they treat Myers at the end is just, it's nothing you really care or need to watch at all. Number 11 is going to be Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and this is one that I could find some value in watching it because it does have a good score. It does have a good Halloween vibe, but I just don't like the central story. I think the acting in this movie is really bad besides our main villain, the guy that plays Cochran. He's a good actor. Everybody else, I think, is just, I don't like the characters in this film, so that's why it sits here this low on the list. Next up, number 10 is going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and this is one that I can appreciate the vision of what what Rob Zombie was going for with this Myers, like what he was trying to do, this more in-depth story about him and Laurie, but it wasn't something I needed. I'm not one of those people that enjoys change, and like when I find something that I like, especially in my slasher films and a franchise, I really don't care if they wash, rinse, repeat. I just want to see a new, more updated one, better kills, the same, better cinematography, better music, and this one, I just didn't like the vibe. I could appreciate it, but I didn't like the way he took the story or the characters. Next up, we have number 9, and that's going to be the most recent one, Halloween Kills. And this one was just a very underwhelming film. It's not horrible. It's not a terrible Michael Myers movie. It was just very underwhelming for me, especially how hyped I was from Halloween 2018. I was expecting this to be like the second best or best timeline in the Halloween franchise. After I saw Halloween 2018, I was like, I can't wait for Kills. We're going to get some good timeline stuff. Let's do it. Let's get into this. And it has decent kills, an amazing Michael Myers, but everything else in this movie, story-wise, pacing-wise, editing, it just kind of falls flat. Number 8, we have Halloween H2O, the return of Jamie Lee Curtis 20 years later, and this one is just one for me. This is a mid-level, mediocre Halloween film for me. I could watch this one, but I feel like it's just a very kind of bland film. It's kind of boring, and it's really fast. I think it's the shortest runtime out of all the Halloween films on this list, but it's still fun to see Jamie Lee Curtis back. I do like Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams. It's got a good cast. It's just a film that plays it very safe, and that's why I kind of didn't really like it that much, but it's not one that I hate or love. It's just kind of middle mediocre ground. Number 7 is going to be The Curse of Michael Myers, the film that ended the Thorn trilogy, and for me, sorry if I could speak. For me, I go for the theatrical release version. I don't really like the producer's cut that much, but the theatrical cut is the one that I go to. But this is a film that it has such a good dark Myers in it. It's got a good pace to it. It's very fast, and it has a really good Halloween vibe to it. Probably my least favorite thing though about this film is that we have Jamie's dying in the beginning. Like that part bothered me, even though it's a different actress too. It's not Danielle Harris, but Jamie dying in the beginning, that one hurt my heart because she's my second favorite character in the Halloween franchise. Number 6 is Rob Zombie's Halloween, and this one, man, took me by surprise. I remember seeing this in the theaters, and remember when this one was coming out and hearing that Rob Zombie was directing this film, I was like, damn, I'm on for the ride. And I like this one because it, story-wise and story beat-wise, it kind of follows the same template as John Carpenter's Halloween, but the way Rob Zombie decides to shoot it, how vicious Michael Myers is, the colorization, all those kind of things. It's very Rob Zombie-esque, and I like this first film. This one for me, like as a jammer, like I really do return to this one a lot. I think Scout Taylor Compton, Brad Dourif, everyone in this film, and probably cast-wise, this first Rob Zombie's Halloween I think is the best, like cast-wise, out of all the Halloween films that we've ever had. Now we're here at the top 5, and before we get down to it, consider dropping a like and subscribing so you don't miss a thing on the channel. So let's get into this. My number 5 is going to be Halloween 2018. This is one for me that I was definitely on board for, and when I saw it, music-wise, this is my second favorite score to the original John Carpenter's Halloween. James Jude Courtney might be my favorite Myers, and I think the ambiance in this film is just there. That's the problem. What they really missed in Halloween Kills is that Halloween 2018, I feel like, had an ambiance. It had a feel in it, and it took me in. Even though it wasn't like very fast-paced, I was sucked into this movie. And like I said, after seeing Halloween 2018, I was for sure thinking that we were going to get probably like the second best timeline that we've ever had in the Michael Myers universe. Number 4 for me, ironically, is going to be Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I know this one's a lot higher on some people's lists. I mean, this is pretty high, but it's higher on most other people's lists because, like, Rachel and Jamie, probably the introduction of two of the greatest characters that we've had in the Halloween franchise. Having Donald Pleasance back, having Michael Myers come back after the Halloween 3 season of the Witch fiasco. It just was really cool. Halloween 4 is one that it returns to, like, it's Return of Michael Myers. It returns to form. We back in Haddonfield. It's got a very old school vibe, and Halloween 4. It's just sometimes for me the only reason this one, there's 3 that beat it out, and it's mainly because of nostalgia. And Halloween 4, I do feel sometimes I could get a little bored with it. I don't hate this film, but like I said, there's sometimes I could feel like it gets a little boring. And our little ending shot scene and the way Myers looks, like George Wilbur's Myers, the design in this one, not good. It doesn't look like a good Myers. Here we are, number 3, and my number 3 is going to be Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I know people have a lot of problems with this film. It's got a lot of weird changes in it. Dominique Othen-Girard probably definitely isn't the best director to lay his hands on a Michael Myers film, but Halloween 5 is heavy nostalgia for me. It's one of the first few Halloween films I saw. Not the first one, but it's one of the first few. And I got so attached to Jamie's character, and I love Daniel Harris's performance in this movie. It is top notch. I think it's really good. I like Tina in this movie. Like, I like the intro title card sequence. Like, Halloween 5 is just one of those films that it screams nostalgia for me. And that, like I said, nostalgia is a heavy drug, and it just screams it for me. And when I watch it, it's just, like I said, it's one that I return to out of all these films. Like I said, even though there's ones lower on the list than this that have been made better and look better, Halloween 5 for me is just a badass movie, and I adore it and love it every time I watch it. Now we're here at the runner-up, number 2, and my number 2 is going to be Halloween 2, the original one from 1981. Man, directed by Rick Rosenthal. Dick Warlock as Michael Myers. Like, oh man, this film, I used to own this on VHS, and it got a lot of replay value in my home. So this one is another like heavy nostalgia one, but I like the fact that it takes place in the same night. It carries on the same kind of vibe as John Carpenter's Halloween. Yes, we throw in the whole Laurie and Michael Myers are sister and brother in this film. It's the first film that I got brought up. The mask looks very different, of course, in Halloween 2, which is kind of weird because it takes place in the same night, but it is amazing and interesting that it's the fact that it is the same mask. And Deborah Hill kept it like in her apartment under her bed, like for until they directed this next second one, and it was like that, or they made this next second one, wrote it and stuff. I think it was just cool. Like I said, Halloween 2, it's got really cool kills, a good vibe. I like the hospital sequences. Yeah, Laurie's kind of sidelined for most of the movie, but I like the other characters that we spend time with in the hospital too. It's just a very enjoyable film. I love Halloween 2. But of course, there has to be a top dog, a number 1, and the number 1 for me is going to be the classic, John Carpenter's Halloween. It might seem like, oh man, you're just grabbing it as the classic, but dude, this film, it might not be the best acted film on this list. It might not be the highest production value film on this list, but it's so simple and so perfect in the best way, and John Carpenter and Deborah Hill found that way to just capture like this gem of a film that wasn't even that hard to film. It didn't even take them that long. Like it's just a breeze. It was a real breeze, it sounds like, to make this movie. And it came out to be so perfect, becoming one of the most influential slashers of all time. You know, you can go on and on talking about this movie. The score, the freaking killer being designed, Michael Myers, the mask, everything in this film. It's just so unique and so iconic. And that's why, like, you just can't deny it. When I watch this film, I think for real, out of watching all of them, when I watched all 12 and binged them all again, and then went to see Halloween Kills, John Carpenter's Halloween just still holds up strong, you know what I mean? Even after these many decades, it's just a badass slasher film. You gotta love it. So thank you for sticking around with me all for this ranking of the Halloween films. As I said, this is just my list. I would love to hear from all of you. Share your list in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And have a safe and happy day, everyone. Peace out.